Don't make comparisons. Sophie, a 19-year-old college student, walked through the busy campus halls. Her heart weighed down by thoughts of not being good enough. Everywhere she looked, there were students more confident, smarter, and seemingly perfect. Her best friend, Emma, always excelled in academics, effortlessly landing top grades, while Sophie struggled to keep up. Then there was Laura, the star athlete, winning every race and praised by teachers and peers alike. Sophie couldn't help but compare herself to them, feeling like she was falling short in every way. One afternoon, as Sophie sat alone in the library, staring blankly at her notes, her thoughts spiraled. Why couldn't she be more like them? What was she doing wrong? The comparisons were relentless, and she felt like she was losing herself. Her motivation was draining, and she began to doubt whether she even belonged in college. That evening, Sophie called her mom. "I feel like a failure," she confessed, her voice shaking. "I'm not as smart as Emma, or as athletic as Laura. I don't know what I'm doing here." Her mom listened patiently and then said, "Sophie, do you remember the apple tree we planted in our garden when you were little? You loved that tree, but it didn't bear fruit for the first few years. You were disappointed, remember?" Sophie paused. "Yeah, I do. Ours wasn't growing apples yet." "Yes, I remember." Sophie smiled slightly, recalling her childhood frustration. "You'd look at other trees around the neighborhood and ask." Her mom continued, "But you also know what happened later. One day, that tree blossomed in a way we hadn't expected. Its apples were unique, tastier and more beautiful than we could have imagined. The other trees bloomed earlier, yes, but our tree blossomed in its own time, in its own way." Sophie's eyes welled up as she understood the deeper meaning. "You're telling me I need to stop comparing myself to others," she said softly. "Exactly," her mom replied. "You have your own strengths, your own journey. Comparing yourself to others only robs you of the joy in discovering your path. Emma and Laura are wonderful, but so are you, just in different ways. You are enough just as you are." That night, Sophie lay in bed, thinking about her mother's words. The next morning, she approached her classes with a fresh perspective. Instead of focusing on how she measured up to others, she began appreciating her own progress, no matter how small. Slowly, Sophie found her confidence growing. By the end of the semester, Sophie realized that life wasn't a competition. She was on her unique journey, and that was something no one else could compare to. The lesson she learned was simple: don't make comparisons. Your growth and potential are uniquely yours.